Hello and welcome back to Talking Shop, a series where we talk about the latest news and updates on e-commerce and retail.
Today we'll be talking about a few updates Google has made to its search console and the effect Brexit has had on the UK and EU businesses. But let's go to our first story about Google's new Subtopics ranking feature.
It was announced recently that the new ranking change on Google went live in mid-November, but we're only getting confirmation of this change now, the Subtopics ranking feature. Google said back in October that subtopics rankings are neural nets to understand subtopics around an interest, which helps deliver a greater diversity of content when you search for something broad. An example given was searching for the term home exercise equipment. Google can now understand relevant subtopics such as budget equipment, premium picks, or small space ideas and show a wider range of content. Subtopics simply diversify the content shown to you but don't change the look of the search results. Yeah, so I think this is a really good new feature for small businesses, particularly those that perhaps maybe have like a more of a niche product.
Yeah, especially because I guess if you're trying to compete with this kind of like broad keyword searches, you can still come up or appear on the Google search page, even if your product is like not necessarily the specific keyword that they search for. So like in the example that Google gave, where if people are searching for like home exercise equipment, there'll still be premium equipment that comes up, budget equipment, so you don't have to have that specific word. So in general it will help, obviously you appear more in Google search terms.
Yeah, it'll just give you a better chance of appearing higher on your search results for more broader terms.
Yeah, so I think it is a good change by Google. They're realising that they need to accommodate for just not the exact keywords that people put in and give people a broader option when they actually do search. So Google have also announced that they are making substantial updates to the coverage report within Google Search Console. Now these updates include significant improvements to the report so users are better informed on issues that may prevent Google from crawling and indexing pages. Now Google have said that they had added more fine-grained index coverage statuses to the report. Now you can expect Google to relabel some categories with new more specific categories amongst other changes. You'll be able to dive deeper into issues around Google crawling and indexing your website, which is great. Now let's hear from our e-commerce advisor Danny and his thoughts on this change.
So Google have made some updates to their Search Console report. These updates are designed to make it easier for shop owners to identify any issues that Google might be having with the data they're taking from your product pages. The most useful of which is they've done away with the crawl anomaly error, which, let's be honest, was pretty vague and unhelpful, and the report should now be showing the actual cause for this issue. This should allow you to identify what data might be missing from your product listings in order for Google to be able to present your products as part of their Google Shopping.
Yeah, so I think this is a really good update from Google. I think it'll give business owners, new and existing, some pointers on their organic SEO and where to improve, and also flag some errors if there are any on their site. I think it's a really, really useful update from Google.
Yeah, definitely, because if you're obviously typing in your business name and you're not coming up on the Google search page, first thing is you're going to think, oh, something wrong. And then before this update you couldn't really figure out what was wrong, but now, yeah, there's a lot more in-depth detail, and it's especially important for like these new businesses that don't particularly know some of the errors that can crop up. So I just think it's good as well for kind of like indexing your site to start with. So yeah, definitely a good update from Google to be a bit more transparent and help people actually index themselves on the Google search pages.
Yeah. Small business owners are getting a nasty shock as the new trading relationship with the EU is leaving both businesses and customers out of pocket. The new rules for trading with the EU have left some EU customers out of pocket for UK products, the BBC are reporting. Some businesses are now reporting that their suppliers are having multiple lots of duty applied depending on where they originate from, which is putting UK businesses at a huge disadvantage. Overseas retailers sending goods to the UK are also now expected to register for UK VAT and account for it to HMRC if the sale value is less than €150, which has meant that a lot of EU retailers are no longer delivering to the UK. I personally don't think this is a bad thing, perhaps for EU sellers, but for UK-based businesses, there's actually an opportunity here to sell to the British public, increase your sales by selling locally, selling within your home country, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, because obviously now with this added kind of like barrier for people that aren't in the UK, they've got to fill in a load more forms and kind of like document it all. It's going to be like, as you say, reduced competition from outside, and it'll give kind of people the urge to buy from UK retailers more. So I see it as a plus in some ways. Obviously others that want to sell into the UK, it's a bit harder, a bit more barriers to entry, but
yeah, definitely got its pros and cons, but I think this is a really good thing for UK business owners.
We're now going to go over to a telephone call with Nick, owner of Alter Astro, and see how his experience of Brexit so far as a business owner has been.
Just wanted to sort of get your opinion and experiences on sort of how Brexit has affected your business in the past sort of like 6 months, so between us coming up to the end of the transition period and obviously just after on January the 1st.
Where should I start? Well, first of all, in fact, the sales have increased generally, and I think that's probably down to lockdown, COVID-19, because we're in the hobby sector. So we've seen about a 400% increase in sales generally. But overseas consumers have been perfectly happy to order until about, I would say, mid-December. And then direct EU orders started to drop off. And these have now seemed to have been replaced by business-to-business orders. So it seems to me that consumers are a little bit unsure about, what they can obtain, or what fees they have to pay, what kind of customs clearance fees they have to pay, I think. So we then got a kind of an upsurge in business-to-business orders for our products. So, in terms of direct e-commerce sales, there was this lull, and it's only just started to pick up now, which I guess mid-January. And although we are getting orders from the EU, they're kind of relatively few and far between by comparison.
That's it for this episode's news. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe for more e-commerce news, and we'll see you next time.